Hi, it's Nell, and why am I hanging out in the desert with an empty pot, you ask? Well, it's because I'm going to show you one way to propagate a ZZ plant, and that is by division. I want to do this today because I'm going to San Diego in a few days, and I'm going to be there for a few weeks, and I want to bring a plant to Lucy. I also want to put a plant in here for my bedroom, and I want to reduce the size of the plant that's in the kitchen because my ZZ plant has grown so much. It's sort of taking over the spot in the kitchen, and it also weighs a lot because of those tubers. So I'm going to divide it into 3, and I have no idea how it's going to go because I have never divided a ZZ plant before. And also, it is relatively cool today. I'm in Tucson and it's 95 degrees instead of over 100. So it's I just want to take advantage of the cooler weather because tomorrow it's going to heat back up. So because I have to drag out all the soil and all the mixes and all that. So it's a little bit easier on me when it's not 105. So why don't we head on over to my work table and you can watch me divide a ZZ plant for the first time. Hopefully, all's gonna go well. And here is the ZZ plant here. It's gotten really, really big. It's put out a lot of new growth. And it's just taken up a lot of space. But I love it. I'm also going to leave a link to the post that I did last year about repotting this and the care down below so you can see how much it's grown in just a year. And you probably aren't going to be able to see me in most of this, in a good portion of this video anyway, because I'll be hidden by the monster ZZ plant. But as you can see, I've already lost a leaf. But that's okay, you know, because there's a lot coming on it. So, first thing I'm going to do is get it out of this pot. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the pruning saw and I'm running it around the edge of the pot to loosen the root ball from the pot. Oh boy. It's tough. So I'm going to continue this. I'm going to go around the whole plant, and then hopefully I can just tip it on its side and get it out. So now I have the pot on its side. And now I need Popeye to come pull the plant out. We'll see how this goes. I don't know. I don't want to hurt the plant. Ooh, I think it's starting to move. You know, of course I could hurt myself too. I'm going to get this geode out of the way. Oh my goodness, what a job. Okay, here it comes. Oh man, I need to get me a girly job. Okay. Come on, baby. Okay, so here it is. Wow. Wowie zowie. So that wasn't too bad. Oh, man. But you can see these really thick, fleshy roots here that store the water along with the tubers. So that's why you never want to water a ZZ plant too much. So, let's see. Oh my God, this is so heavy. Alrighty, well, it stayed intact. So now I have to figure out how I'm going to divide it. So there are those big fleshy roots. I'm gonna pull that up. There is one of the big ol' tubers there too, and they store water. And that's also what makes the plant so heavy. So now it's time to conquer and divide. So I'm going to start to saw on the back, and then I'm going to come around to the front so you can see This one would be good if I had somebody filming me, but I don't. So I'm going to cut right here. And I know that I'm going to lose quite a bit. I'm going to lose a bit of it, but it's growing so well. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me turn it, because I feel like you are totally missing out on what I'm doing, because it's going to take a while. So I'm just sawing through. I found a point where I think I can get through. So I'm starting to just saw it. And this is a tough plant. And there's so much new growth in the center. It's hard to do. I have a red floral knife, and I put it right at the point where I stopped in the center. Right there. There's the knife. So now I can just go around and meet it right in through here. Okay, I'm turning it here, and unfortunately I'm going to lose some of these tall new leaves, but there's a lot of other growth on it, and I would have had to put it in a bigger pot anyway. Hey, oh, okay, so this isn't too bad. So it did just go right in there. Whew. I don't know if I'm going to be able to save those. That's going to be the bigger pot there, and then I'm going to divide this in half, I think. Well, let's see. Yeah, I might actually divide this into 3 and then put a little bit more in this pot here. Almost everything I film, I can film myself, and it's okay, but this is one of those projects where it would have been nice if somebody was filming me. Oh well, I just wanted to get it done. I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm getting the floral knife here, and I'm going to just go right in through here. I'm going to start this way here and pull it apart. See how this is going. Let's see what I'm doing here. Here we go. Okay. So here's a little close-up on the 4 pieces. There's one there. A little bit bigger there. Smaller one that's going to go with the big one right there. And those tubers should heal over just fine. Okay, so I'm somewhat cleaned up, and I decided to give Lucy the smallest one just because this pot is so small, and she said she has a relatively small apartment, so she's going to get this one here. And I need to put in a little bit more potting soil. What I'm doing is about 3/4 potting soil with about 1/4 succulent mix, succulent and cactus mix, because ZZ plants need to be really, really well drained. You know, the soil needs to be really, really well drained. Okay, so I'm going to put in a little bit of the succulent mix, and about that much of the potting soil with a handful of compost, because that's what I even use to fertilize my houseplants. And I'm going to need to clean this planter up, I can tell, because I'm already getting it filthy dirty. So I want to get it down into about there. So now I'm going to fill it up with that mix of the soil mix, the potting soil, and the succulent and cactus mix. And now what I'm going to do is put in a little bit of worm compost, which is one of my favorite amendments. And I've been using a local one, but they were out of that one, so now I'm using the worm gold. Okay, a little sprinkling of this on the top, or toward the top. That'll nourish this plant, help it adjust through any shock it may have gone through being sawed. But as I said, these are really tough plants, so it's gonna bounce right back like crazy. Okay, so now I just topped it off with some potting soil, and this leaf here is having a really hard time standing up just because it's so tall. I know it's one of the new big ones, but I might have to stake it, or I'll just lean it against the wall until I bring it to her. There we go. Okay, and now just a handful of compost on the top. And it is all nourished and ready to go. So here's the plant that's going to my bedroom here. Just needs to be straightened up a bit. I have some of the potting soil and the succulent mix on the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and put in the soil and the succulent mix along with the compost to get this to fill in and straighten up. Okay, so here's this one here, almost all done. As you can see, it's got a little bit of a crazy shape, but that's okay because I'm going to put it this side to the window so it'll start to fill out a little bit. But that's because I divided it and the plant had that, you know, kind of a shape. So a little bit of worm compost. And so I have this here almost all filled in. Time for a little compost here and there. Here's this smaller piece coming off the side that's just not standing up. It's that kind of a project at the end of the day. Come on, everybody. Let's stand up and be good. I might have to stake this, or I think it's going to stand up when I get the rest of the mix in. So I noticed that it was really flopping in the front because I couldn't see it. So I went in and I packed it down a little like that, and that is getting it to stand up a little bit better after it gets watered. Hopefully these big long ones will adjust just fine and start to stand up a little bit better. We'll see. So this one is done, and I did the same drill with the potting soil and the succulent mix and the worm compost and the compost. And what I did with a few of these floppy leaves, these longer leaves, is I propped them up against the stronger, shorter leaves, and they're holding up just fine. So now they're all going to get watered, and I decided, because I got some leaves, some stems fell off, I'm going to do a video about how to propagate the ZZ plant by stem cuttings. So stay tuned for that. You can also propagate it by leaf cuttings. So if anybody wants a leaf cutting one, let me know. I don't propagate by leaf cuttings too much because it's a slow way to go. I would rather do division or stem cuttings. So I don't know when this will post, but hopefully within the next couple months. So stay tuned for that. So I hope that you have found this video about propagating a ZZ plant by division to be helpful. I had one ZZ plant, and now I have 3. And I have those cuttings, so I'm going to have 1 or 2 more. So I thank you for all your likes and your subscribes and your comments. I really appreciate them. I don't have enough time to answer all the comments, but I do read them, so I thank you for that. And I have a lot more videos coming your way. As I said, I'm going to San Diego soon, so there's going to be a whole bunch of succulent stuff coming up, so stay tuned for that. And now let's get into our indoor gardens or our outdoor gardens and make our world a more beautiful place. Now I'm heading over to the star jasmine because I'm going to do an equally insane project. I'm going to start to prune that plant. So I thank you so much for watching as always, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.